saw it. So calling a man a liar is a very dangerous thing when he comes to save your life.
That's right.
He says, I don't expect you to give me the credit, but you will grow to do that. I tell you today that you will grow to it tomorrow. You are not able, with the knowledge of this world, to see into what I am teaching you of a world that has no birth record and has no ending. You can't see it all at one time, he's telling you. But on the morrow you will see it if you continue to study what he gave to you. He says, you can't create a thought that will correspond enough with the questions I answer for you to attack what I am teaching. That's great, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You can't create a thought in your mind that will correspond or will equal or come into existence with the questions that he's answering today. For you, or for people who wish to attack him, they cannot think of anything like that. And he says, in this word, what I am teaching. He went so far as to say, I defy the scientists of this world to attack what I'm teaching you.
Right.
That's a big word for a slave man to get up and say to people, that is scientists,
That's right.
that he defied them to try to attack him in what he is teaching.
That's right.
To you
Listen.
and to me. And they sit down and can't say nothing.
That's right.
None never did attack him into what he was teaching.
That's right.
They wanted to attack him in something else.
That's right.
We have proof from that from the white judges and from the white people. Even to me, when I didn't send my children to public school, they didn't want to attack the knowledge of what that the messenger had taught me. All they wanted me to do was to be sure you put your children in school. We ain't going to talk about what Elijah said.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I wanted him to do. So I said to them, I said, Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, told me to send my children to the University of Islam.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I did.
Yes, sir.
Judge or no judge.
That's right.
I paid for it by his words. He put me in jail for it. That's right. I'm still around.
Yes, sir. That's right. You will.
I'm teaching you and prove that I'm teaching you something false just because it is not of this world's knowledge, of the devil's knowledge. How can you prove that he's teaching something false and all you got is that from a dog, a devil?
Right.
And
That's right.
you're going to say, well, Elijah is teaching wrong. Can't prove it. It's not there. He says, I will give to any professor of the white man's world
Listen.
$10,000 and 10 times $10,000
Listen.
to prove one word I teach you untrue.
All right. Yes, sir.
That's a lot of bread to give a man, ain't it? A lot of jack.
Yes, sir.
If I had 10 times 10,000, you wouldn't saw me here today, I don't believe. I'd have been going somewhere else. Excuse my way of talking today. I have this scientist right here today. But I wanted to come to you and do what I had to do. And that made me feel better to even to see you, that you're here. He continues, he says, you are reared by the enemy of the righteous. You're reared up. They reared you up, raised you up, brought you up by the enemy of righteous. The man that raised us, brought us up, he was the enemy of good.
That's right.
That's why he never bothers you in so talking. He knows that. He knows that he's the enemy to you, and he knows that you is his enemy.
That's right.
He knows both of them. And he knows these things the day that he went and brought you from Africa to this country. He had the knowledge of it. That's why he beat you out of what you had with the whip on your back.
That's right.
Whipping your parents until they submit to the evilness that he asked them to submit to. But that's past, we say. Well, that has passed. Well, we must forget that.
No, sir. No.
We never forget the man that whipped our mama and papa. We don't forget that. No, don't never forget that. Just go ahead and make you a better whip.
All right. Yes, sir.
Therefore, since you have not come fully over to the righteous, which is your own self, you will give honor and praises to what you see of the enemies and of his world. He says, I can't fault you for that as long as you are in it and don't believe in another. That's right. If you are in it, the world of the enemy and what he taught you, and then you won't come to what is righteous of your own people, he says he don't fault you. He fault the enemy.
Yes, sir.
Not you, because you are blind, deaf, and dumb.
Yes, sir.
When I say you, I don't mean you just sitting here. Always remember, when you hear me speaking, I say you, I'm not just you, no. I'm talking to every black man in America.
That's right. That's right.
Everyone. And very soon they shall hear and shall know.
That's right.
You are read by the enemy of the righteous. Therefore, since you have not come fully over to the righteous, which is your own self, you will give honor and praises to what you see of the enemy of this world. I can't fault you for that. as long as you are in it and don't believe in another. But you will wake up one day or one night and learn that Elijah Muhammad taught you the most truth of any man who ever lived.
Yes, sir.
These are not my words, brothers and sisters. These are his words.
That's right.
The messenger's words, Elijah Muhammad. The end of the messengers, the end of the prophets. Although if another people get lost from that, let me clear this for you. If a person get lost from his people, again, if it happens again, and if enemy come through again, now according to science, according to prophecy, there will never come another one. All of the book clear through, all of the scriptures, prophets, the scientists, they all declare that there will never come another enemy on top side of this earth.
Yes. Good.
That's why he's called the last.
Yes, sir.
He continues, he said, I'm going to get through with this right quicker. We'll still be away from here about 4 o'clock. All right. According to my time. There is no man who ever lived before me who have had the depths of the knowledge of truth that I have.
Right.
Did you hear that?
Yes, sir.
Let's say it again. It sounds good.
Yes, sir.
There is no man who ever lived before me. Now, he was just born here in 1897. And he said, there's no man before him. He didn't try to tell when they was born or when they come in existence. He just said there was none before me.
Right.
Who has had the depths of the knowledge of the truth that I have. Now, how can somebody come along and teach it?
Right.
Nobody before him had it.
That's right.
And that is what I have heard with my own 2 ears from Master Farad Muhammad when he used to stand and teach us. He says, nobody got this but me, and I brought it to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen. Listen. Right.
The messenger says, I am not boasting, and I am not proud. I will go out and sit on the curbstones with my brother.
Yes, sir.
I won't boast that I am greater than him, because he was created like me and has brains that came with the creation like me.
Yes, sir.
See, he don't put himself above you.
That's right.
He's right there with you all the while.
That's right.
He can make those brains do just what I am doing. If the will of the power of the 12 scientists of the God so will. Oh boy, didn't he?
Yes,
He made a step out in deep water there.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, teach on it. Go ahead. Teach it. Teach it.
Think he can make those brains do just what I am doing if the will of the power of the 12 scientists of the God so will. What they willed, it is did just like that. Those 12.
Listen.
Now there's 24 of them. But these are 12.
Listen.
And these 12 is always around. That's why you say, the Christians say, you can't see God. No, you can't, because you ain't got sense enough.
Yeah, teach me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed.
12 scientists. They are called in a portion of the book saying the 12 imams.
Right?
The 12 imams. And it's 12 of them that always stays in heaven.
All right.
And 12 is always out among you and I. And you might have talked to one this morning and didn't know it.
Go ahead, teach me this. Teach.
That's why that I myself say what I have and was taught to me is greater than these little fellows you see walking around here saying that they are so
That's
much.
Right. That's right.
They won't come and attack me, will they? No, they haven't did it.
That's right.
None of them.
That's right. Listen.
And they better not try.
That's right. That's right.
He was my teacher, Messenger Elijah Muhammad. After Master Farad got through with me, he became my teacher.
Yes, sir.
I was with Master Farad Muhammad a little better than 2 years while he was in the city of Detroit. He was teaching me on the banks of knowledge to give to others in school like, not like a messenger. I'm no messenger. I give you the knowledge from the messenger.
That's right.
Not the messenger. I'm no prophet, as you might say. He's a prophet. No. But I can say that the prophet said that I was a prophet.
Go ahead, teach me, mister.
I know myself.
Yes, sir.
I know who I am.
Yes. All right, now. Because you were gassed.
The messenger himself said to me, he says, when he had me in my Quran, he says, when you get to yourself, you're going to know it.
Right. All right.
I said, and that happened in 1956.
Yes, sir.
I said, what? He said, yeah, you'll know it.
Yes, sir.
Then one day, after Master Farad Muhammad had left him and left us all here together, I asked him, I said, did he ever say anything about me? He looked at me, he looked like he said, you little fool, why you asked that question, you know? He said, yeah, but I ain't gonna tell you.
Yes, sir.
Like that, he said, yeah, he asked me, he told me something about you, but I ain't gonna tell you. He had never told me until this day.
Yes, sir.
I know what it is, though.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Now, before my other brother passed away, Kalat was captain, he told me some of the things that he said, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Although if I won't tell you in the way that you will know, but I have told you.
That's right.
Much of it.
That's right.
But you didn't know it, and you still don't know it.
That's right.
But I know it.
Yes, sir.
The messenger continues, he says, when a messenger is chosen, thank you. When a messenger is chosen, these 12 go into conference to see whether or not he can do the job that he is now being chosen for. Those 12 scientists, 12 imams, they goes into conference to see if this man that we're going to send as a messenger to a blind, deaf, and dumb people is sufficient for them. The messenger is blind, deaf, and dumb now, but not with these wise people. They're going to teach him.
Yes, sir.
As the problem says. And we sent a messenger to them. They had conference about him at the root of civilization. And we sent a messenger to them to teach them of their own.
Yes, sir.
Now, where did the messenger come from that he taught or that he chosen? He didn't go to no other country. He didn't go to no other nationality of people. He come direct to the ones that he is to teach, and made out from that one a messenger to teach the one that he was raised up with. That's the way they come. All of them come that way. All but Jesus. Moses was half. Moses was a half white man, and half black, half original man. Let's go down a little further. We're coming back to this sometime.
Yes, sir.
We call the 12 gods who decides on all of this 12 scientists who decide on all of this, the 12 scientists, great scientists. This is why your ruler, you know, from 1 inch to 12.
Yes, sir.
This is why your ruler has 12 inches on it. It is after the number of the 12 major scientists. Did you know that before?
Yes, sir.
Did you know the ruler that you go and you mark, make a line straight that it was made after 12 scientists? It ain't got but 12 inches on it, is it?
Yes, sir. Teach, Raymond.
And you're from the 12 tribe of Shah-Allah, right?
That's right.
So you still on that rule, right?
Yes, sir. Teach. Teach us.
I told him. The root of civilization is where the 12 scientists is at, and 12 is all over the earth, and the root of civilization is known as the heaven.
Yes, sir.
I told him. Without this, you cannot live. That is why we call it a ruler. When you have 12 inches on it, I am the last scientist or prophet, as you would call him.
Yes, sir.
That's what Elijah's saying. This is his word, not mine.
That's right.
I can let you hear it on tape that he said,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so that you won't think that John is taking up something that he don't know nothing about. That ain't all that I know about the ruler. I'll walk it for you one day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Now start from number 1 and go through 12.
Yes, sir.
He taught me.
Yes, sir.
Not only would I take the 12 inches, I take 24, 2 foot,
Yes,
2 feet. I won't only take that one, I'm able to take the whole yardstick.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's right.
And we'll walk from 1 inch to 36.
Supreme, man.
Right.
He taught me.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
That's why these little jackasses don't want to. Excuse me.
Go ahead. Tell the truth. That's what they are.
They don't want to come before me. I've been around here a long time.
That's right.
Long time. It makes me, kind of step off a little side sometime, but to see people that here's a man here that was taught by God and the messenger,
Right.
and he has the knowledge of what his brother taught, and he was the last of them all, and his brother said so, and they walk away and say, no.
That's right. That's what they do.
I have come in contact with people like that.
That's true.
You think that any man, let me say this to you, any man or woman that go out with the knowledge of Islam among the people, I'm talking about this, what the messenger taught. I ain't talking about what these other
Yes,
people
sir.
did right here. What he taught. He said white folks was the devil. He said the only heaven you can get is you make it your own self.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's what he taught. I ain't talking about these little preachers up and down the street here that got a nice voice and he can pray and make you shout
Right.
over falsehood,
That's right.
preach and make people shout over falsehood. I ain't talking about them. Them fools. I ain't got time to bother with fools.
That's right.
But if he come here, I'll show you that he is a fool.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Bring him.
That's right.
We don't care. As I used to say when I was small, talking to the gals, oh, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Good.
The other boy be standing by. I would say to the girl, I'd say, he's standing there listening at it too. So I got mine. He got his to get. You didn't hear me. You don't know what I said, do you? No, you don't know. You trying to think of what does that mean? I ain't gonna tell you.
Yes.
That's what the last scientist or prophet, as you call him, he's the last inch on the rule. Now you cannot make a ruler with 13 inches to it. You don't have it. Right?
That's right.
I haven't seen one. Maybe you have, but I haven't. I got them from 2 up to 36. Rulers, yardsticks. I look at all of them sometimes. Going over my schooling. Now the messenger says, but I am not a prophet by the way of speaking. I am a messenger. The last one is not a prophet. He's saying that.
Yes, sir.
He does not prophesy. He has nothing to prophesy.
Right.
He's the last one. Yeah, I can't tell you somebody else is coming.
That's right.
I can't prophesy nothing because I'm the end of it.
Yes, sir.
He fulfills that which others prophesy.
Right.
He is the end of the prophets. He fulfilled all what all of the rest talked about and said, then he fulfills that. Like Jesus said about Moses.
Right.
I did not come to destroy the law of Moses, but I came to fulfill it.
Yes, sir.
Because Jesus knows there's not another one now coming to you devils.
That's right.
So I fulfill the whole thing. So it is with Messenger Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, I can't say that I'm the last one. As my brother just said, he's the last one. I'm not the last messenger. I'm not the last prophet. You must not understood him well enough. He didn't try to cover that track that he made, I don't think. Because a lot of people say you the last one. How can you say you the last one? Brothers and sisters, I am the last man that will teach Islam like Messenger Elijah Muhammad taught it.
That's right.
I'm the last one.
That's right.
Is that clear enough?
Yes, sir.
Yes, clear.
That will teach Islam just like Elijah Muhammad taught it, because that was my teacher. He told me, he said, don't add, don't take away from it. He said, you give it to them just like you received it from Master Farad and me. And he taught me until the day, last day I saw him, well, I think he was just about dead when the other people saw him. Tell you the facts about it.
Yes, sir.
Some said he hadn't spoken since I had been there the last time there in the hospital. He was dead. Don't let nobody go around here telling you Elijah Muhammad is still alive. That's the biggest lie you can hear.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Elijah Muhammad is not alive. The people that teach such a thing, they should bear in their own mind, would Elijah Muhammad stay away from his people 16 years and not come back and straighten up it from what has happened to it?
Right. Right. That's right.
You mean to say now that he's alive out on Mother's Plain? Sure, it's crazy. It's the worst thing that a man can do against his own self.
That's right.
I feel bad to hear the man say it. You know who I'm talking about.
Right.
I don't have to call him name. I'm in a fight now with one of his men.
That's right.
On the same thing.
That's right.
Right now. Trying to prove to me that my brother is out on Mother's Plain. Did not you know that he told me about Mother's Plain and where that he was told that he would ask him what did he wanted to do?
Yes, sir.
When Japan was in war with America, Master Farad Muhammad asked him, did he wanted to be the commanding officer?
Yes, sir.
Did I tell you that before?
No, sir.
No, sir.
He told me to us today.
Well, he said it. I got witness for it.
Yes, sir.
They just ain't here, but I got witness for it. My own brother.
Yes, sir.
Told him if you wants to be the commander of Japan's army, I will see to it that you be it.
Yes, sir.
Messenger wanted to know if you're going to destroy this country, that's all right. But no, that wasn't for them to do it.
Yes, sir.
But if he had wanted to. Why? Because what the messenger says, whatsoever Allah wills and our wills, it is the same.
That's right. That's right.
People don't know who the man was. Don't know who sent him.
Right.
It taking a God to send a messenger to you and me.
Right.
Not somebody to play with.
That's right.
Think about Moses, and we say that Elijah Muhammad was the Moses. Who sent Moses? God sent Moses.
Right.
Now what Moses did he send? The one to Pharaoh or the one down in the caves of Europe?
Listen.
It was the one in the caves of Europe. That's what Master Farad said. Your Bible, if you go back home and search it, reads in the end of the Old Testament where Elijah is mentioned as the end of the prophets.
That's right.
If I'm not able to bear witness with the former prophets and their prophecy, then I'm not the last. But he was able to do so.
That's right.
That's why he breaks down all of this last part, all of the prophets that was before him. But if I am unable to bear witness that the prophets prophesy is right, just and true, then I may be the last one. If he's not able, but he was able to do so.
That's right.
I have so much divine wisdom. Listen, I'm talking about Elijah Muhammad. I have so much divine wisdom that I could write here until the same day next year and won't have exalted half of it. The last prophet, the Bible calls him, is the right hand of God.
Right.
This is what he's saying. If the last prophet is the right hand of God, which I am, then he can take that right hand and put, if it over the world of man and make man to come into his own will or destroy him by his will.
Yes, sir.
That's what that right hand can do.
That's right. Yes, sir.
That's power, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
I got nothing to add to it. I got nothing to take from it. And I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to say I can do it. No, no. What the heck I'm going to tell somebody I can do that? You do it. I don't think you can do it either. There is no more prophecy necessary for you to see after Elijah.
That's right.
That's right. Got that right.
Now, where's the other mules coming from?
Watch him out. Right.
Am I right?
Sir.
That's what he says. That's what the messenger says. And before Elijah Muhammad, we had no messenger.
That's right.
Who was he? He says there is no more prophecy necessary for you to see after Elijah.
Right.
Elijah is the last of all of them. You are no more to seek a man to teach you of God. Wait a minute, what you saying, man? I'm talking, this Elijah talking here. This is his words. Listen what he's saying here. You are no more to seek a man to teach you of God, because Elijah is the last. Then what must be done? I take that what the last one had, and I use it.
That's right.
And I continue that what he had.
That's right.
Now, if anybody can take that from me, go ahead.
Do it.
Because you can't take it from Elijah. I tell you straight, go see Elijah.
Go ahead, reader. Keep going.
Elijah's the last. And you hear people around here talking so much junk, so much foolishness. Why don't they stop and come on and let us unite ourselves together and be a people?
That's right.
We don't need to go and fight nobody about anything. Everybody has declared war on us once upon a time.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And right now, this man, that the house that we living in, he wants to fix it so that you can't get out of it.
That's right. Listen.
This man is fixing black people if you don't unite. I'm telling you what is true.
Yes, sir.
This man is fixing black people in a nutshell.
That's right. Yes, he is.
Elijah is that last. He tastes a little of every evil and good to bring one to a naught. He has got to know it. Every prophet that came on the scene of history in this, from the year one of the present cycle, 25,000 years cycle of our history, every one of these that was here in that cycle, Elijah Muhammad had to bear some of the things that he bore. He had to go through some of the same trouble they went with. That's why I would say if you had seen him like I did, you'd have said, this man is fixing to die right now. because I did felt it. I just felt, I said, my brother's fixing to pass away right now. But he didn't go then. Last one that he mentioned to me was Job. He said, brother, this is a tough one. He said, but what did Job say in the end of it? He said, I have heard of thee. Now my eyes have seen thee. In my flesh shall I see God. That's what Job says. And he did.
That's right.
And Elijah Muhammad did see God in his flesh.
That's right.
I thank you, my dear beloved brothers and sisters, that in that part of that I take up with you to read something of it to you, to let you know that Elijah Muhammad is the last of all of the prophets.